I've tried writing lyrics, but I'm a miserable failure.
I just scribbled that one line in a book and just stared at it for months. And they couldn't figure out when I was a kid what to do with me, which was sort of part of that song, What I Had in Mind, because I just wasn't there.
Ron, my background is as a writer, but I went to journalism school. I write news and documentaries and films and things like that. And I've tried writing lyrics, but I'm a miserable failure. So when I meet someone like you and hear your lyrics, it's like magic. How do you you talked earlier about jotting down notes, but where do the ideas come from and how do you actually remember it all?
Well, lyrics for me are the hard part too. I mean, melody is super easy. I just have melodies coming to me all the time, and which is kind of mysterious. I don't know where they come from, but it's like the lyrics, it's hard to explain, but sometimes I'll get a phrase in my head. I had a song called Love Shines at one point, and this line came to me one day. I was on a ferry in Europe, and the line was, in every nowhere town, there are somewhere dreams. In every nowhere town, there are somewhere dreams, And I thought, that has potential or something. I just scribbled that one line in a book and just stared at it for months. Couldn't think where to go from there. But that's part of the songwriting thing. You get this little nugget of a melody or a phrase, or maybe it's something you're going through or you're feeling, and you scribble down. I like when I'm writing lyrics, it's important to almost like scribble down as much as you can, unedited, because oftentimes you can take that and work with it, But it takes a lot of patience and returning to it again and again. And then all of a sudden, it's like a puzzle, and then you realize, oh, I see. And I'm a stickler for, internal rhyming schemes, and like if the first verse really sings well, I want the second verse to sing as well. I don't want it to be this awkward, square peg kind of thing.
Exactly.
So I work on that. I try to use sort of similar kinds of phrases in the second verse, and I've noticed people like Gordon Lightfoot does that as well. They'll be like the second verse, there's words that are almost like, it's hard to explain, but they're sort of in the same ballpark as the lyrics he used in the first verse. And so it's just this thing where I pull my hair out over it, and but ultimately I don't really do anything else. So there's just one thing that I focus all my energy on. And I know I can do it if I'm patient, because a lot of people, they get lazy and they co-write and whatever. But it is tricky writing lyrics, because I want the lyrics to be as good as the melody, and I want to make sure that I've said everything I want to say in the most sort of economical way. So.
Well, I follow you on Twitter, and let me read you something.
Well, that's all wordplay too, Twitter, right?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I just want to read something off Twitter. This is how you describe, this is your Twitter handle: half man, half melody, idiot savant without the savant part, and former kid detective.
Yeah, that's all true.
Analyze that for me. Tell me what that all means.
Well, I do feel, with me, I'm kind of on the spectrum a bit. And I've always, I could get up tonight and sing a whole night of Bob Dylan songs and not rehearse. I remember it's my superpower. So, but also in that sense, I was sort of making fun of myself without the savant part, But I do have that sort of element with, I'm sort of, where you're uber focused on one thing and you're not good at anything else. So there's that. I don't know if that's Asperger's or whatever it is,
right.
But and they couldn't figure out when I was a kid what to do with me, which was sort of part of that song, What I Had in Mind, because I just wasn't there. They actually put me back a grade and then put me into a higher creative writing class to try to figure out what was going on in my head. And the other part about the kid detective was true, because I had a detective agency when I was 10 or 11 with my friend Carl. And we actually even got hired for a case. We got hired to solve it was a missing watch case. And we never found it. But
did you write a song about it?
No, but I mean, I wrote I don't know. I mean, I was really big into Hardy Boys and
Yeah.
Sherlock
Me
Holmes.
too. I
and
love
all,
that. Yeah.
And I've always I like true crime, all that stuff. But I never wrote a song about it. But I just, I just love, I remember I had a sign up front of my house. We were called SPY. And my older stepbrother, was just so embarrassed that he would tear the sign down when he got home, and I have to make a new one and put it up again.
My dumb brother doing this spy business.
Yeah, he was older and had no imagination, I guess.
Well, getting back to Twitter, I'm wondering if you use Twitter for practicing lyrics, because this is something I pulled off yesterday.
Yep.
Chinese spy balloon, Putin acting like a bad cartoon, or some brutal thug or evil goon as the Taliban inflict their Stone Age rules and the GOP act like scumbag tools.
Did I write that? Because I wrote another one that was sort of, let me see. Yeah, I wrote that. Yeah, but I was trying to write it to the tune of 99, like sort of
Luftballons,
balloons. Yeah. Yeah, well, then they found out that it was like a weather balloon, right?
Well, there's an argument. The Chinese say it's a weather balloon. Yeah. The Americans shot it down to see if that was right. So you obviously are a keen observer. The world is in a little bit of a strange place right now.
Yeah.
Tell me your perspective on what's going on in the world, how it impacts you, and then how you respond through music.
Well, the thing about like in terms of Twitter, I've always liked wordplay, and Twitter gives me an opportunity to write in all different disciplines in a way. I write sketches, I write little Twitter poems, I call them. I do a lot of stupid puns, and because I like Jack Benny and Groucho Marx and those people. But also it's a place where I can be political in a way, which I try to avoid as much as possible, because sometimes you'll put out a tweet and people come after you, and then you spend the day blocking people
because you're commenting on something.
And it's such a divisive era now, So I'm very troubled by the world. I have very little faith in America right now that they're ever going to get it together, because Canada is divided in here too, but in America they seem so entrenched, in their positions. And one party just seems to be not even dealing in reality, and so it's just been disheartening. But for me, I don't really have any power except to write sometimes these sort of mocking, tweets about mostly, like GOP or something, or Trump. I'm still upset about that. I can't believe they'd let a person like that, give them that type of power. So Twitter is a little outlet for me, but for the most part, though, I try to make it a fun place and a kind place. And I have I upload videos from my YouTube channel, mostly covers where I'm in my kitchen singing songs. And I announce birthdays. Like today, it was the late Gord Downey's birthday. It was the late Kate McGarrigle's birthday. So it's become this almost like my own little variety show. And also I write blurbs about my records and memories and all that. So I don't know if I answered your question, but the world scares me, and touring scares me now. So I try to make Twitter a place where people can feel, could calm down a bit.
But the lyrics of your songs and your melodies act in a way a little bit therapeutic for the people who love your music, because you're relating experiences that we all face. In fact, you've been called the songwriter's songwriter. Some of the best songwriters in the industry, Paul McCartney, Elvis Costello, lots of people think that you are the creme de la creme of. Well, you seem to capture the essence of what it's like to be human more than other people can do in their songs.
Just, for me as a fan of songwriters, they all did that for me, So I think oftentimes if I'm writing a song that's comforting or whatever, I'm writing it kind of for myself first, for my own head, So, but all those songwriters I admired, they changed my life with their lyrics and their perspectives about things. And I was a good student, I just was I really paid attention. And I think the reason some of these old guys, I don't want to call them old guys, but the old guard or whatever, sort of looked at lifted me up a little bit is because I think they could see that I really respected what they did, and I was trying to follow in their footsteps. But I love it when someone writes me and says, oh, this song, whatever, really spoke to me or means a lot to me. We even got a message from some people in Ukraine the other day who were separated because of the war, and they'd asked if we could send the chords to one of my songs so they could play it. And that was like, that just knocks all the wind out of you, So it's a powerful thing, and so you don't want to, you want to use your power for good, right? You want the songs to say something. Not every song has to say some important thing. Diamond Wave is just a fun song or whatever. But some songs, for whatever reason, they become more potent, and you don't know why necessarily.